What if the reason you're losing everything is because you're trying too hard to control everything? Pause for a moment. The greatest opportunities, the clearest decisions, and the strongest version of yourself appear when your mind is calm, not when it's overwhelmed. Today, you'll discover why relaxing your mind isn't weakness. It's power. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why the Stoics believe that a peaceful mind can achieve what a restless mind never will. Before we begin, subscribe to Stoic Ascension, leave a comment below saying, "I control my mind," and let's begin. Most people spend their lives fighting invisible battles. They wake up worried. They eat while thinking about problems. They work while imagining failure. They lie in bed replaying conversations that happened hours ago. Their body is present. Their mind is somewhere else. And because of this, they never experience peace. The Stoics understood something that modern people often forget. The quality of your life depends on the quality of your mind. Not your money. Not your status. Not your followers. Not your possessions. Your mind. A disturbed mind can turn paradise into suffering. A peaceful mind can turn struggle into growth. Imagine two men walking through a storm. The first man curses the weather. He complains. He panics. He becomes angry. The second man accepts the rain. He understands he cannot stop the storm. So he focuses on what he can control, his steps. Both men face the same storm. But only one suffers. That is the Stoic difference. Your suffering often comes not from events but from your reaction to them. And when you relax your mind, you begin to see this truth. A young businessman once lost a major contract. Months of work disappeared overnight. He couldn't sleep. He blamed himself. He imagined his future collapsing. Every day he became more anxious. Then one evening, his grandfather asked him a simple question. "Has worrying solved the problem?" The young man stayed silent. The old man smiled. "Worrying is like drinking poison and expecting the problem to die." Those words changed him. He stopped obsessing. He focused only on the actions he could take. Within a year, he built an even better opportunity. The problem wasn't the loss. The problem was his attachment to the loss. Many people destroy themselves mentally because they refuse to let go. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Accept reality. Learn from it. Move forward. A calm mind always sees possibilities. A stressed mind sees only obstacles. Think about a lake. When the water is disturbed, you cannot see beneath the surface. But when the water becomes still, everything becomes clear. Your mind works exactly the same way. When you're overwhelmed by fear, anger, jealousy, and anxiety, your judgment becomes clouded. You make poor decisions. You overreact. You misunderstand situations. But when your mind becomes calm, clarity appears. The answer was often there all along. You just couldn't see it. This is why the Stoics valued inner stillness. Not because life is easy, but because a calm mind can handle difficulty far better than a chaotic one. There is an old story about a warrior. Before battle, all the soldiers around him were nervous. Some couldn't stop shaking. Others imagined defeat. But the warrior sat quietly. One soldier asked him, "Why aren't you afraid?" The warrior replied, "I have already accepted every possible outcome." That answer shocked them. Because true calmness comes from acceptance. The warrior wasn't fearless. He simply stopped fighting reality. He understood that panic changes nothing. Preparation changes things. Action changes things. Character changes things. Fear alone changes nothing. How much energy do you waste resisting reality? How many nights have you spent worrying about things you cannot control? Imagine if that energy was redirected toward growth. Your life would change. One of the biggest reasons people fail to relax is because they believe they must control everything. But control is an illusion. You cannot control what others think. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control the past. You cannot control unexpected events. The Stoics divided life into two categories. Things you can control. Things you cannot. Peace begins when you know the difference. Every time you obsess over something outside your control, you surrender your peace. Every time you focus on your actions, your choices, and your attitude, you regain your power. That is freedom. A man planted a tree. Every day he checked its growth. Every day he worried. Every day he became frustrated because it wasn't growing fast enough. His neighbor planted the same tree. But after watering it, he simply trusted the process. Years later, both trees became strong. The difference? One man lived in frustration. The other lived in peace. Many people treat their goals like that impatient gardener. They constantly check results. They obsess over outcomes. They become discouraged. Stoicism teaches patience. Focus on the work. The results will come. A relaxed mind trusts the process. An anxious mind demands immediate rewards. And immediate rewards rarely lead to lasting success. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire filled with wars, political conflict, and endless responsibilities. Yet he constantly reminded himself to remain calm. Think about that. If a Roman emperor facing enormous pressure needed inner peace, then so do we. Marcus understood that external chaos is unavoidable. Internal chaos is optional. The world may be noisy. Your mind doesn't have to be. The world may be stressful. Your spirit doesn't have to be. You always have a choice. And that choice determines your experience of life. Imagine carrying a backpack. Every time someone insults you, you add a stone. Every time something goes wrong, you add another stone. Every disappointment. Every regret. Every mistake. More stones. Eventually the backpack becomes unbearable. This is how many people live. They carry years of emotional weight. The Stoics encourage a different approach. Put the stones down. Learn the lesson. Release the burden. Move forward. Holding on to anger doesn't punish others. It punishes you. Holding on to resentment doesn't change the past. It steals the present. A relaxed mind understands this. And because of that understanding, it becomes lighter. There was once a fisherman who spent his days by the sea. A wealthy businessman saw him relaxing after a short day of work. The businessman laughed. "You should work harder." "Why?" asked the fisherman. "So you can earn more money. And then? So you can buy more boats. And then? So you can become rich. And then? So you can relax and enjoy life." The fisherman smiled. "But I'm already doing that." Many people postpone peace. They say, "I'll relax when I become successful. I'll relax when I become rich. I'll relax when life becomes easier." But peace isn't something you find later. It's something you practice now. Because if you cannot be peaceful today, success won't magically make you peaceful tomorrow. The mind is like a muscle. Whatever you train becomes stronger. Train anxiety, and anxiety grows. Train gratitude, and gratitude grows. Train fear, and fear grows. Train calmness, and calmness grows. Every day you are practicing something. The question is, what are you practicing? The Stoics practiced perspective. Whenever something bad happened, they asked, "Will this matter in 5 years?" Most problems instantly became smaller. Perspective creates peace. And peace creates power. A young woman failed an important exam. She felt devastated. She believed her future was ruined. For weeks she suffered. Years later, she looked back and laughed. That failure led her toward a better path. What felt like disaster became a blessing. How many things are you worrying about right now that won't matter a year from now? How many fears exist only inside your imagination? The Stoics remind us that the mind often exaggerates problems. Reality is usually less frightening than the stories we create. Relax your mind. See things as they are. Not worse than they are. When you become calm, something remarkable happens. People notice. Your presence changes. Your energy changes. Your decisions improve. You stop chasing. You stop forcing. You stop reacting emotionally to every situation. And because of that, opportunities begin to appear. People trust calm individuals. Leaders remain calm under pressure. Athletes perform best when relaxed. Thinkers create best when focused. A relaxed mind doesn't mean a lazy mind. It means a powerful mind operating without unnecessary tension. The Stoics believed every challenge contains an opportunity. A setback can teach patience. A failure can teach wisdom. A loss can teach gratitude. A criticism can teach growth. When your mind is relaxed, you can see these opportunities. When your mind is overwhelmed, you see only pain. This is why mindset matters so much. The event is important. Your interpretation is even more important. Picture an archer aiming at a target. He can control his preparation. He can control his focus. He can control his effort. But once the arrow leaves the bow, some factors are beyond his control. Wind. Weather. Chance. The Stoic said life is exactly the same. Do your best. Release the outcome. A peaceful person focuses on the shot. A stressed person obsesses over the result. Which one do you think performs better? Every morning, remind yourself. I cannot control everything. I do not need to control everything. I only need to control myself. These words can transform your life. Because peace begins where control ends. And strength begins where acceptance starts. There is a reason water can cut through stone. Not because it is aggressive. But because it is consistent. Calmness works the same way. You don't need constant intensity. You need steady progress. Small actions repeated daily create extraordinary results. A relaxed mind understands this truth. And because of that understanding, it remains patient. The next time life feels overwhelming, remember this. Slow down. Take a moment. Observe your thoughts. Ask yourself. Is this within my control? If the answer is yes, take action. If the answer is no, let it go. That simple habit can save you years of unnecessary suffering. Most people search for happiness in possessions. The Stoics searched for happiness within themselves. And that is why their wisdom has survived for thousands of years. Because external things come and go. Money comes and goes. Success comes and goes. People come and go. But your character remains. Your mindset remains. Your ability to remain calm remains. That is true wealth. That is true power. As we come to the end of this video, remember. A calm mind sees opportunities. A calm mind makes better decisions. A calm mind attracts better outcomes. A calm mind endures storms. A calm mind creates a powerful life. Stop chasing everything. Stop forcing everything. Stop worrying about everything. Relax your mind. Trust the process. Focus on what you can control. And watch how everything begins to change. Many people believe that success creates peace. But the truth is often the opposite. Peace creates success. When your mind is constantly distracted, your energy is scattered. You start 10 things and finish none. You make emotional decisions. You react instead of respond. But when your mind is calm, your attention becomes powerful. And attention is one of the most valuable assets you possess. A focused mind can achieve in 1 hour what a distracted mind struggles to achieve in a week. The Stoics understood this deeply. They knew that mastery over the mind was the foundation of mastery over life. Imagine a blacksmith forging a sword. The metal enters the fire again and again. Each time it becomes stronger. Each time it becomes more refined. Life does the same thing to you. Challenges are the fire. Difficulties are the hammer. Setbacks are the shaping process. Many people resist the process. They complain. They become bitter. They ask, why is this happening to me? The Stoic asks a different question. What is this teaching me? That single question changes everything. Because when you view hardship as training, your suffering begins to transform into strength. A young man once complained to his mentor. My life is too difficult. The mentor handed him a glass of water and a handful of salt. He told the young man to place the salt into the glass. The young man drank it and immediately spit it out. It's terrible. Then the mentor took him to a lake and placed the same amount of salt into the water. Now drink. The young man drank from the lake. It tastes fine. The mentor smiled. The pain in life is the salt. Your mind is the container. Expand your mind and the same pain becomes easier to bear. The problem isn't always the challenge. Sometimes the problem is the size of our perspective. A calm and expansive mind can carry burdens that would crush a narrow one. One of the greatest sources of stress is comparison. People compare their income, their appearance, their relationships, their achievements, their lifestyles. And then they wonder why they feel unhappy. The Stoics warned against this trap. Because comparison steals gratitude. There will always be someone richer, someone smarter, someone stronger, someone more successful. The race never ends. The moment you stop comparing yourself to others, you regain your freedom. Your journey becomes your own. Your peace returns. And your energy shifts toward growth instead of envy. A farmer planted seeds in 2 fields. Every day he watered one field while constantly staring at the other. He worried endlessly about which would grow faster. Months passed. The field he nurtured flourished. The field he merely worried about did not. This is how life works. Growth happens where attention goes, not where anxiety goes. If you spend all your energy worrying, you leave little energy for action. The Stoics remind us to direct attention toward effort, not fear. Toward growth, not doubt. Toward discipline, not panic. There will be moments when life feels unfair. You may work hard and still fail. You may be honest and still be criticized. You may be kind and still be misunderstood. This is part of life. The Stoics never promised fairness. They promised resilience. Because resilience is more valuable than fairness. A resilient person can survive almost anything. A fragile person struggles with even small difficulties. The goal isn't to create a perfect world. The goal is to build a mind strong enough to face an imperfect one. Consider the oak tree during a storm. Small plants may bend or break. Weak branches may snap. But the oak remains rooted. Why? Because its strength was built long before the storm arrived. The same principle applies to your mind. Mental strength is not built during crises. It is built before crises. Through daily discipline. Through reflection. Through patience. Through self-control. Every calm response strengthens your roots. Every act of discipline deepens your foundation. And when life's storms arrive, you stand firm. Many people spend years chasing external validation. They want approval from strangers, praise from coworkers, recognition from society. But external validation is unstable. One day people praise you. The next day they criticize you. If your happiness depends on others, your peace will always be fragile. The Stoics taught self-respect over public approval. When you know your values and live by them, criticism loses its power. You no longer need everyone's permission to feel worthy. You become internally anchored. And that inner stability creates enormous peace. There is an old saying. You cannot calm the storm, so stop trying. What you can do is calm yourself. This is one of the most practical lessons in Stoicism. You cannot force life to be predictable. You cannot eliminate uncertainty. You cannot guarantee outcomes. But you can control your response. And your response determines your experience. Two people can face the same challenge. One grows stronger. The other becomes overwhelmed. The difference is not the challenge. The difference is the mind. Think about how often fear steals opportunities. Fear stops people from starting businesses. Fear stops people from speaking up. Fear stops people from changing their lives. Fear convinces them to stay where they are. Years later, they regret not taking action. The Stoics understood that courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting despite fear. A relaxed mind sees fear clearly. An anxious mind magnifies fear. One moves forward. The other remains trapped. Which version of yourself do you want to become? Every evening, Marcus Aurelius reflected on his day. He examined his actions. He reviewed his mistakes. He looked for lessons. Not to punish himself, but to improve himself. Imagine the power of spending just a few minutes each day reviewing your life honestly. What did you do well? What can you improve? What distracted you? What strengthened you? Self-awareness is the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom is the foundation of peace. A river does not rush to prove its strength. Yet over time it shapes mountains. A calm person operates the same way. They do not need to show off. They do not need constant recognition. They focus quietly on growth. Day after day. Year after year. And eventually their results speak louder than words. This is one of the most underrated Stoic lessons. Move in silence. Grow in silence. Let your actions make the noise. The modern world profits from your distraction. Every notification demands attention. Every headline demands emotion. Every platform competes for your focus. Yet your focus is your life. Where attention goes, life follows. Guard your attention carefully. Protect your peace intentionally. Not everything deserves a reaction. Not every argument deserves participation. Not every opinion deserves consideration. A peaceful mind knows when to engage and when to walk away. The strongest people are not always the loudest. Often they are the calmest. They remain composed during conflict. They remain steady during uncertainty. They remain focused during chaos. Their strength comes from within. And because it comes from within, circumstances cannot easily take it away. That is the power Stoicism offers. Not perfection. Not invincibility. But stability. The kind of stability that allows you to keep moving forward no matter what happens. As you continue your journey, remember this simple truth. The more you chase peace outside yourself, the further it seems to move away. The moment you cultivate peace within yourself, everything begins to change. Your relationships improve. Your decisions improve. Your confidence improves. Your future improves. Because the quality of your outer world is often a reflection of your inner world. A restless mind creates a restless life. A peaceful mind creates a powerful life. What if the reason you're not getting what you want is because you're trying too hard? The harder most people chase peace, success, money, respect, and happiness, the further those things seem to run away. But the Stoics discovered something powerful. When you relax your mind, life begins to work in your favor. Welcome to Stoic Ascension. If you're ready to master your mind, find inner peace, and unlock your highest potential, subscribe now and join our growing community. Let's begin. There is a silent trap that catches almost everyone. The belief that constant worrying will somehow improve our lives. People worry about money before they have money. They worry about failure before they even start. They worry about what others think before anyone says a word. Their minds become crowded with fear, doubt, and endless imaginary problems. And because their minds are crowded, they cannot see opportunities that are right in front of them. The Stoics understood this. They knew that a disturbed mind creates a disturbed life. A calm mind creates clarity. And clarity creates results. Imagine standing beside a muddy river. If you stir the water continuously, you cannot see the bottom. But if you leave it alone, the mud settles. The water becomes clear. Your mind works exactly the same way. The more you fight every thought, the more confused you become. The more you relax, the more answers appear. A young man once desperately wanted success. Every day he obsessed over becoming rich. Every hour he checked his progress. Every setback made him panic. Every delay felt like failure. Years passed and he became exhausted. One day, after hitting rock bottom, he stopped trying to control everything. He focused only on what he could do today. One task. One goal. One action. His stress disappeared. His performance improved. And within a few years, he achieved more than he had in the previous decade. The moment he relaxed his mind, he finally moved forward. That is the Stoic way. Marcus Aurelius taught that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Think about that. Most pain never actually happens. Most fears never come true. Most disasters exist only inside our heads. Yet people spend years fighting imaginary battles. They create problems before problems arrive. They argue with people who are not present. They replay old mistakes endlessly. And then they wonder why they feel tired. A Stoic understands that mental energy is precious. Every unnecessary thought steals strength. Every unnecessary worry steals peace. Every unnecessary fear steals opportunity. The wise person guards their mind carefully. A traveler once carried a backpack full of rocks. Every mile became harder. His shoulders hurt. His back ached. His journey felt impossible. Another traveler asked him why he carried so many rocks. The man replied, "I don't know. I've been carrying them for so long that I forgot they were there." Many people live exactly this way. They carry old regrets. Old failures. Old heartbreaks. Old insults. Old fears. They drag them through life every day. Stoicism teaches us to put the rocks down. Not because the past didn't happen. But because carrying it changes nothing. One of the greatest secrets in life is this. Relaxation is not weakness. It is power. Most people mistake tension for effort. They believe success requires constant stress. But look at the greatest performers in the world. Elite athletes stay calm under pressure. Master warriors stay calm during battle. Great leaders stay calm during crisis. Why? Because panic destroys performance. Calmness enhances it. A skilled archer knows this. If his hands shake, he misses. If his breathing becomes chaotic, he misses. The target is hit not through force, but through control. Your life works the same way. You don't need more panic. You need more composure. You don't need more fear. You need more clarity. You don't need more stress. You need more focus. A farmer planted seeds. Every morning he dug them up to see if they were growing. Of course, they never grew. His impatience destroyed them. Eventually an older farmer told him, "Plant the seed. Water it. Then leave it alone." The young farmer listened. Months later he had a beautiful harvest. Many people treat their goals the way that young farmer treated his seeds. They constantly worry. They constantly check. They constantly doubt. They constantly force. And in doing so, they destroy their own progress. Stoicism teaches patience. Do the work. Trust the process. Let time do its job. Not everything grows overnight. The modern world profits from your anxiety. Every notification demands attention. Every headline demands emotion. Every opinion demands reaction. People are constantly pulled in 1,000 directions. As a result, they never experience silence. Yet silence is where wisdom grows. The Stoics valued solitude. Not because they hated people, but because they understood the importance of hearing their own thoughts. A successful businessman once spent years chasing more money, more status, more recognition. Despite achieving everything, he remained unhappy. One weekend he disconnected from everything. No phone. No meetings. No distractions. For the first time in years, he sat alone with his thoughts. And he realized something shocking. He already had enough. His problem wasn't a lack of success. His problem was a lack of peace. That realization changed his life forever. Many people believe happiness comes after achievement. I'll relax when I become successful. I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll enjoy life after I reach my goals. But the Stoics taught the opposite. Peace comes first. Then achievement follows. Because a peaceful mind makes better decisions. A peaceful mind sees opportunities. A peaceful mind attracts better relationships. A peaceful mind stays consistent. When your mind is at war, everything becomes difficult. When your mind is calm, everything becomes possible. Consider the story of a sailor caught in a storm. The waves were enormous. The wind was violent. The sky was dark. The younger sailors panicked. They screamed. They feared death. But the captain remained calm. Someone asked him why. He answered, "I cannot control the storm. I can only control myself." That is pure stoicism. Life will bring storms. Financial storms. Emotional storms. Relationship storms. Health storms. But your power lies in your response. You may not control the weather. You control the sailor. One reason people struggle is because they want immediate certainty. They want guarantees. They want proof that everything will work out. Life doesn't offer that. And that's okay. The Stoics embraced uncertainty. They accepted that the future is unknown. Instead of fearing uncertainty, they prepared for it. This created confidence. A warrior doesn't become fearless because danger disappears. He becomes fearless because he trusts his ability to handle danger. Likewise, confidence is not believing bad things won't happen. Confidence is believing you can handle whatever happens. And that belief creates peace. There is incredible freedom in letting go. Let go of needing everyone's approval. Let go of comparing yourself to others. Let go of trying to control every outcome. Let go of perfection. A sculptor once worked on a statue for years. When he finally finished, he noticed a tiny flaw. Nobody else could see it. Yet he became obsessed. Eventually he destroyed months of work trying to fix something insignificant. Many people do the same with their lives. They chase perfection. And in doing so, they destroy progress. The Stoics preferred excellence over perfection. Progress over obsession. Growth over approval. The calmer your mind becomes, the stronger your intuition grows. You start noticing opportunities. You start understanding people better. You start making wiser decisions. Because your mind is no longer drowning in noise. Imagine trying to hear a whisper during a rock concert. Impossible. But in a quiet room, even the softest sound becomes clear. Wisdom speaks softly. You must create silence to hear it. A young student asked a Stoic teacher, "How can I find peace?" The teacher handed him a glass of muddy water. "Wait," he said. After a while the mud settled. The water became clear. The teacher smiled. "Your mind is the same." The student understood immediately. Peace is not something you create. Peace appears when you stop disturbing yourself. Remember this. The mind is like a garden. Whatever you water grows. If you water fear, fear grows. If you water anger, anger grows. If you water gratitude, gratitude grows. If you water peace, peace grows. Choose carefully what you feed every day. Your future depends on it. The Stoics practiced gratitude regularly. Why? Because gratitude relaxes the mind. It shifts attention away from scarcity and toward abundance. A man complained constantly about his small house. One day a friend took him to visit people with no house at all. Suddenly his perspective changed. Nothing about his situation improved. Only his perspective improved. Yet he felt happier immediately. That is the power of gratitude. Success often arrives when desperation leaves. People sense desperation. Employers sense it. Customers sense it. Friends sense it. Relationships sense it. But calm confidence attracts opportunities naturally. The Stoics understood this. They focused on becoming valuable rather than chasing validation. And because of that, they often achieved both. Every day ask yourself, what am I worrying about that I cannot control? Then let it go. What can I control today? Focus on that. This simple habit can transform your life. Little by little. Day by day. Thought by thought. As you continue your journey, remember this truth. You do not need to force life. You do not need to fight every battle. You do not need to carry every burden. Sometimes the greatest strength is learning to relax. To trust. To breathe. To focus on what matters. To release what doesn't. Because when your mind becomes calm, your vision becomes clear. When your vision becomes clear, your actions become effective. When your actions become effective, success becomes inevitable. That is the Stoic secret. Relax your mind. And you may discover that everything you've been chasing has been moving toward you all along. If this message resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful lessons on Stoicism, discipline, self-mastery, and inner peace. Until next time, protect your mind, master your emotions, and continue your journey toward greatness.